Hey guys, so I've had a couple of people to ask about sublimating on a 100% cotton t-shirt using the polyacrylic and distilled water, which is the process that I tried based off of a YouTube video that I watched of a gentleman that did the process, and everything seemed to come out good. So I tried it on a shirt before, and this is what I have left over. This is you do 2 ounces of polyacrylic to 8 ounces of distilled water. Now, I don't know about plain tap water. I don't know about any other water than distilled water because that's all I've tried. Okay. Um, and then I just put it in this container and sprayed the area where I wanted to place the sublimation. So I picked a very colorful image here that I've already printed out on my Epson Workforce 7720. And so it's mirrored. It looked like it's going in the right direction to you, but it's actually mirrored already because you always want to make sure you mirror your image. I did this in Microsoft PowerPoint because you know that Cricut Design Space will only allow you 6.75 by 9.25. So I always do mine in Microsoft PowerPoint. Why do I use Microsoft PowerPoint? Because that's what I got. And I'm not going to invest in anything else when I have something to use already that works perfectly fine. I can do even the 11 by 17s using Microsoft PowerPoint. So I can design inside of it. So no need to get anything else. So anyway, this is the image that I'm going to be sublimating today for you guys, just to show you the process. And I removed the border so you don't see any white spacing on here. So what I'm going to do, this is the 100% cotton t-shirt. You guys can hopefully see that, but Hanes, it's 100% cotton. There we go. 100% cotton t-shirt, okay? So what I do is I take and I kind of gauge where I'm going to place my image. And that's the area that I focus on when I'm actually spraying the solution on. So hold on one second. My squeaky chair. All right, so I'm just going to use this board so you guys can see what I'm doing here. But I'm just going to take and place my t-shirt down like this. And this is a size small t-shirt. And I want to make sure I get it nice and don't have any lines or anything in the area that I'm going to sub. And I always come down about 3 inches from the top. So I just take my fingers and 3 fingers from the top. That's what I do. And that looks pretty good. I think I need to move it over a little bit. Then I take my fingers and I try to gauge how much space I have. Now they do have t-shirt measurements that you can actually, rulers that you can buy. I do not. And never used one, never had any issues. But if you're new to, doing t-shirts and you're going to be in it for the money, then you might want to invest in one. However, I'm not. Another trick that I want to tell you guys, I have a small heat press. As you can see here, I have a small heat press. It's much smaller than what I would like to do, which is like the 11 by 17s and stuff like that. So what I do is if I'm doing it on a larger surface, if I need a larger surface and my heat press is limited, right? So what I do is I take a sewing chalk, and I go ahead and mark around where the image should be on my t-shirt. And that way, when I wash the t-shirt, the chalk is going to wash away anyway. So that gives me a good idea so I don't have to fight with my heat press on, do I have it lined up properly? Go ahead, place your image on your t-shirt, put a chalk put the chalk outline of where the image should be, and then lay it on your heat press, and that way, you know, you'll get it right inside the chalk. And then when you wash your t-shirt, the chalk is gone. Okay, so it doesn't remain. You could do the same thing with this. You could go ahead and outline it with your chalk, and then make sure you use this, you know, to kind of get inside those areas. But I don't have my chalk handy right now, so what I'm going to do is just shake this up a little bit, and I'm going to go ahead and spray the area where I want to sub. And you want to make sure you get the entire area that you're going to sub. Now, I don't know the right or wrong reasoning or rationalizations behind how much you're supposed to use, because the video I watched, the guy didn't say. All right. And then what I do is I just take my lint roller and I just kind of roll it where I sprayed. And hopefully that's to help to ensure that I have my solution all over the area that I'm going to sub. Now, I'm going to tell you, this is the second time that I'm doing sublimation on 100% cotton using this solution. So I'm by no means an expert at this. Okay, so yeah, I'll just remember that. And then what I'm going to do is allow this to dry. And another tip is, this is the plastic that comes from heat transfer. And so I use that and just take it and put it on my lint roller and roll it back up. That way, when my lint roller is just sitting around, it's not collecting dust because it has that plastic coating on top of it. And you see how it fits nice and perfectly, nothing sticking out. And then I just undo it when I get ready to use it again. And you can see all the stuff that we can't really see that lint roller will pick up. It picks up all kinds of dark particles that we can't see with the naked eye. All right, so what I do is I'm just going to feel, and it feels nice and damp. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this sit for about 15 to 20 minutes. I'm going to let it sit and kind of let it dry. And then what I'm going to do is I will put it on the heat press, and I press it for about 5 seconds at 375. Okay, 5 seconds at 375. And then after that, I go ahead and lay my image down, and I do it at 375 for 60 seconds. Okay, so what I'm going to do is pause this video, and then when the time frame, I'm going to just do 30 to be on the safe side. But I'm going to give this a good chance to dry, because you do not want to do it while it's wet. And the other thing is, you might want to open up your t-shirt and put like a paper or Teflon sheet or something under there so that it doesn't bleed through. Because I will tell you that when I did mine for the first time, it felt a little bit like t-shirt, like a fabric transfer. That's what it kind of feels like. But after I washed it, it didn't feel like a fabric transfer anymore. So I think that stickiness to it to make it feel like a fabric transfer was because of, you know, the polyacrylic that you're using in here, you know, because it is has a stickiness to it. But yeah, and I only spray my area one good time to make sure I get it, because I don't want it super sticky with this stuff. So I just spray it one good time, and I can hold this up and I can kind of see that I have got good coverage. And you don't want to get a bunch of blotch spots, and that's where you've oversprayed it. But again, I'm not a professional, so if you spray it a lot and you get blotch spots and it works out perfectly, then kudos to you, okay? But I'm still new at this. But I just want to share what I've learned so far. So I'm going to wait, let this dry for about 30 minutes, and then I'll come back and we'll go ahead and get started here and see if we can get this baby to turn out beautiful. I selected this image because it has a lot of very vibrant colors in it. So I want to see if it's going to come alive after I've had this for now about a week and a half without using it. See if it still holds up to its potential like it did the first time I used it. All right. All right, I'll see you in 30. All right, guys, I'm back. So it has been 30 minutes. My shirt is pretty much dry. And you can see there's no splotches or anything like that. I've already taped. I always take a piece of heat tape and put it on the piece of paper, just regular copy paper that I have under here, so that if it bleeds through, it doesn't bleed through to the back. I've never had that happen, but I hear people say that it can happen, so better safe than sorry, right? All right, so the next thing is my heat press is heating up. I'm going to do 375 for 10 seconds, okay? I said 5, but I'm going to do 10. 375 for 10 seconds. Then, and that's just to heat the t-shirt up to remove any moisture that I can't feel. It feels pretty dry, but just in case, better safe than sorry. After the 375 for 10 seconds, I'm then going to place my image down. I have my heat tape ready. And just having the shirt, the copy paper taped down on the inside, for me, that's to help me with my placement because I have to put my t-shirt going the long way, okay, because again, my heat press is small. So for those of you that are like me that have a small heat press, this is what we call the workaround, okay? So you don't feel like you need to run out and buy another heat press. Make this one work for as long as you can until you can afford to get, you know, a larger heat press. I'm not stressing because, you know, I craft to teach people, and every now and again I might get somebody that will approach me and ask me about making a shirt. But for the most part, I craft to craft, and I craft for my friends and family, and I craft for my Facebook group to help them out. Hopefully they can learn some things from me, and I learn things from them too. But in that group, Candora's Cricut and Creative Crafters, we're about learning from one another. So that's why I think my group works out pretty well. It's a small group, but we're powerful in our small numbers. All right, so my heat press is at 250. So I'm going to let it get to 375. Once it hits 375, it'll start beeping. And like I said, I'm going to heat this at 375 for like 10 seconds. And make sure my t-shirt, I mean, not my t-shirt, but my copy paper under there is still straight because I do not want my t-shirt to end up, or my thing to end up crooked. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on and move that board out of my way. Guys, I wish you could smell my place right now. I'm making some homemade spaghetti and it smells amazing. Hey guys, apologize about that. I hit my camera or my laptop and it stops my camera. But anyway, I'm making homemade spaghetti and it smells amazing because I have to be on a conference call for 4 hours today. Pray for me, Jesus. All right, so I'm just getting this lined up, being very careful not to touch this heat press because it is hot. It's at 306 right now. So I'm just making sure that I get my t-shirt lined up where there are no lines or creases in it, and to make sure it still looks perfect here. My paper is there and here. Okay, I'm going to stand up here and make sure that everything is good to go. And then turn this around so you guys can see. Okay, it's Teflon paper. It's what's acting a fool. I'm going to put it like that. All right. So I got everything lined up like it should be. And we're just going to wait here until it hit 375. And we're going to be ready to lay it down. Okay, that feels good. And that feels good. All right. So I have a piece of silicone sheet. This comes in your fabric transfer paper or little packages when you buy them. So keep these because you can use it for both. Because I'm going to put that on top of my image here in just a minute. It's hot with this heat press. All right, it's at 371. I mean 351, sorry. It's almost there. But I'm just gonna heat it up a little bit, 375 for about 5 to 10 seconds. And that way I can make sure that any moisture I can't feel is out. 362. So you guys get a chance to see me walk through the process so you can see that I'm not telling you something I haven't tried. All right, we're at 367. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get it turned around here. All right. I'm just going to heat it for about 5 to 10 seconds. All right, so that smoke is because you can't see when this thing still has moisture in it. That's why it's always highly recommended that you hit it with your heat press. Now, before I put this image down on it, I'm going to let it cool just a minute because I don't want the transfer. I want y'all talking to half my head. I don't want the transfer to start taking effect. So I'm just kind of let it cool off a little bit. But that smoke, it normally doesn't do that. But because there was still a little bit of moisture in that shirt, that's why it started, you know, doing that. So I'm going to go ahead and lay my image down here. And I'm going to put a little bit of heat tape. Now, the heat tape, guys, is to keep the image in place, because if this image shifts, then you're going to get what you call like a mirror or ghosting effect, where it's going to look like double lines, you know, like after you've been out drinking, you know, on the town, and, you know, you start seeing double of everything. That's going to be what your image is going to look like it looked like it was going to be 2 images, but ended up being 1. All right. So I got that taped down so that I don't get any ghosting. And this is the silicone sheet. I'm just going to place that on top. All right. And we're going to go 375 for 60 seconds. I think I said 60. And it might be 70. All right. So everything looks covered with this little bit of heat press. Just to give you guys a little bit of information, I bought this heat press maybe about 3 years ago. And I got it from Promo Heat. Only used it maybe once or twice and just let it sit in the corner because I was using that little $12 iron that you get from Walmart. It was there. It was convenient. But now that I've started using my heat press, I use the heat press on all types of presses now, not just sublimation. And it is much easier. I just, eventually I will invest in one that comes with everything, but that's when I decide I'm ready to get like a shop or something. Not a physical shop, but an online shop. All right, we're at 4 seconds. And we're done. All right. I'm going to cut this off because that baby is hot. Now, I don't do, a lot of people will tell you to do 400, at 400 for 60 to 70 seconds. The first time I put mine up to 400, it cut the power outlet over there off. And so I don't want to risk any type of fire. So I always do between 374, 375, never higher than that for me. Okay. And it's worked out fine. So we're going to see, this is the silicone sheet. And always be careful, guys. I don't have any heat gloves to work with, but always be careful because you don't want to burn yourself. And these things are super hot, okay? So I've seen some people that are doing YouTube videos that's got burns on their hands. So you notice I swing it away and try to be as careful as possible. I'm just removing the heat tape. And we're going to see what we got. Oh, yeah. So that's the transfer. And voila. So you guys get a close up of that. Turned out beautiful. All right. So that is sublimation on cotton. And let me pull the paper from under here. But yeah, it turned out good. Yeah, see that? All right. So I do not, and because I didn't go crazy with the spraying, it doesn't feel like fabric transfer like my last one did. And I guess because I really did let it sit and for 30 minutes. Last time, I think I only let it sit for maybe 5 or 10 minutes, but I did 30 minutes this time. And then I did the heat press on the t-shirt alone at 375 for 10 seconds by itself. And then I went in at 375 for 70 seconds with the transfer. So it does not have that stickiness feel to it. Like I told you, the first one I did, I probably oversprayed the first time because I wasn't really sure what I was doing. So I oversprayed it. But this one feels perfect. And it feels like a sublimation shirt should feel, where you can't feel anything. So do not wash it for the first 24 hours. And yeah, you'll be good to go. So I just wanted to jump on and tell you guys that I have some spaghetti that's waiting for me because I have to get back to work. But that's my process. Again, I use 2 ounces of polyacrylic, and then 8 ounces of distilled water. And again, I haven't tried it with any other additives, any other water types, just distilled water, 8 ounces, 2 ounces of polyacrylic. I just swirled it around and mixed it up. This has been sitting for like the last week and a half. So I only used it once. And it seemed to work fine, guys. So, I mean, you can continue to invest in the polyester shirts, and I probably will too. But if I'm limited to just the cotton, then so be it. That's what I'll use, is the cotton. Okay. So that's it. Just wanted you guys to see that you still get those vibrant colors using the concoction that I talked about. All right. All right, guys, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. If you are currently in my Facebook group, Candors's Cricut and Creative Crafters, thank you guys so much for being a part of my Facebook group. And if you are subscribed to my YouTube channel, thank you so much for subscribing to my YouTube channel. And if not, if this is the first time you're seeing me and you happen to like my videos, then please like, share, and subscribe. And also hit the bell notification in the top right-hand corner so that you'll be made aware anytime I post YouTube videos or upload YouTube videos. All right. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. I got spaghetti I got to get to. Each one reach one so that each one can teach one. And you guys have a blessed day. Bye.